Hello everybody, it was a while since I made any videos. I hope you missed me. It was vacation time for me, and also I had a problem come back to my hand, and if you might remember, a few years ago I had to have a surgery and I have to have another surgery again, and I still have stitches on my palm, so I'm not going to show you, not to gross you out, but it was really hard to make any modding when you have only one working hand, even if it's dominant one. So now I'm mostly back and can do some work without too much pain and troubles that my stitches came out. So I would like to update you on a few developments that happened since our last test for DazLab testing schedule. I finally get NVIDIA came back to me, and they provided, together with P&I, two 980s cards for me. We had a discussion with NVIDIA sponsorship since last summer, and we went all the way from 780s, 780s Ti, and finally 980s, while the process took so long. But finally I get the two cards. So I would like to thank you NVIDIA and P&I for providing hardware that would allow us to upgrade test bench to SLI configuration, and I'm going to perform a lot of tests on triple radiators, which make more sense as we have two GPUs and one CPU cooled in the system. And that probably will work much better for majority of us, because dual radiators used by many beginners, but triple radiator more common. So I think it's a better way to test things, and also a little bit more heat in our system. So today I would like to make a video about comparison between installation of EK and Bistpower blocks. Originally I want to make video just installation of Bistpower block, as I did a few times before, but I didn't really like it too much, because I already showed you a video about that with EK blocks probably 2-3 times in just in past few months. So I feel it would be a little bit repetitive. But while working on Bistpower block, I found a lot of differences, and I thought it could be cool to make a video to compare installation experience between EK blocks and Bistpower blocks, because I have opportunity to work with both now, and I think it probably will be a little bit more interest for you. So we will be using as example this 295X2 that I installed last month, and this Bistpower 980 blocks that I just installed basically a few minutes ago. So everything fresh in my mind, and I would like to walk you through the process. Price-wise, both blocks more or less the same, so that probably will make this kind of choice quite common for a lot of guys, as long as availability is there. So just working on installation. First of all, when you address your card and you remove all your standard heatsink and everything, usually the very first task you need to do, you clean it out and put your thermal pads. That was the first thing that I give a point to EK. EK provide pre-cutted thermal pads, and it's much easier process. You just peel your little piece of square thermal pad, apply on memory, so it's accelerate process quite a bit. It was a little bit more work to cut pads for Bistpower block, because you need to measure, you cut, and it takes much longer to go through the process. So for ease of installation for thermal pads, I would say EK definitely wins. I would like to say that both companies provide enough thermal pads, a little bit more than you need, so even if you make some sort of mistake, let's say in terms of Bistpower, you cut it wrong, so you have a plenty that you need to work with, so don't be afraid that you make a mistake here. The second thing that about the nature of thermal pads itself, Bistpower using Fuji Poly, which is pretty much a leader in the industry, so it's really good choice. The source of EK pads is unknown. I'm not saying the bad or anything like this, but Fuji Poly absolutely one of the best thermal pads on the market for sure. So we give a little notch for Bistpower for using more famous brand name thermal pads in their delivery. Moving forward, the next thing that we need to do is apply thermal paste on a central chip. EK provides you with a little to 1 gram of thermal paste, while Bistpower give you nothing. So EK get another point for getting give you more complete package, so to speak, that gives you smooth ride, doesn't matter what, if you have or don't have thermal paste laying around. And moving further, I would like to say that in terms of actual manual itself, EK give you a little bit more details. If you look on Bistpower, that it's pretty much self-explanatory pictures that for me it was really to follow, but it's no wording whatsoever, while EK give a little bit explanation, and I think it's for the guy or girl who would be working on installation of GPU block for very first time in their life. They would prefer a little bit more detailed information than just a bunch of pictures that you need to comprehend. For me it was piece of cake, but I think that for somebody doing this first time, maybe they can, or maybe they cannot read pictures right way. So that one gives EK another point as a better more easier to install block. So the next point is how when you apply all thermopods and you put your thermal paste in place, so you need to assemble the card. And this one, it definitely came much better, because if you use backplates, because theoretically you can use EK without backplate, but Bistpower give you backplate by default. So if we assume we make a similar type of installation and we use EK backplate and EK block, and we have everything that included with Bistpower package, I would say that installation of EK is much easier. Why? Because it doesn't require assembly of both parts simultaneously. What I mean by that you can actually screw a couple screws and attach your block to your PCB, and then you can work out with whatever necessary thermopods and attach your attach your backplate afterwards, which makes things much more easier. With Bistpower, the screws goes through every single hole on the backplate and goes inside of the block itself, which means that you should work through putting the card on a block, a line of holes, then you need to apply and allow all holes for the backplate, and it's possible, but it's a little bit more difficult if you do it step by step. So in terms of installation or assembly of backplate and block, EK, I give them like 2 more points for that. I would say that Bistpower give me a little bit trouble even when I try to apply backplate or block. Some of thermopods start falling out, so you have to reapply them and you hope that when you make a final contact nothing moves. So things like this, a little bit iffy. Moving on a list, I would say that another thing that I didn't really like with Bistpower, that the type of the screws they're using that attaching make whole assembly together. So they have those microscopic screws with the smallest possible socket type of head, and I can tell you that I guarantee that 99% of guys around probably don't have such a small screwdriver lying around. Of course you get provided with a little tool which is really awkward to use. So, and if you lose it later or something like this, it will be a big pain to find this micro driver, screwdriver, precision driver, just to work with this block if you need to disassemble it later or something like this. Another danger of using such a microscopic screws that a lot of guys, from my experience running the store, quite often use a little bit more force than they should. So I see so easily that a lot of those little screws will be stripped out easily because it's such a small thing, and then you're in real trouble when you need to disassemble and your holes, your head is completely stripped out, then I don't even know how you will deal with that, like cut it off or whatever. So using those small screws is always a bad idea for any modding project. So in good point goes to EK again to providing slightly bigger screws than Bistpower. And another point that I not really like that on the backplate that Bistpower provide, for whatever reason, I don't know why, they decide to save 1 cent and don't make backplate all the way entire size of the card. So you can see the piece of PCB now is exposed. Another problem with that you also have these 2 points where the bracket is attached to PCB, and you need to remove those screws when you're removing your standard cooler. So now they didn't even provide any screw and a bolt and nut that allows you to fix that bracket in those 2 positions. So they just stay attached on a couple screws here in the front, which I don't really like. While with the K-blocks, they always give you full-size backplate, and also they provide you with screws that allows you to fix your bracket to the PCB, which is make it a little bit secure, right? So I think it's oversight from the Bistpower not providing those 2 additional screws to fix this out, or it's not very smart decision to make this backplate short. For that, I giving another 2 points to EK. One for backplate, which is full cover, and the second for providing screws to fix side bracket. Well, not everything is bad for Bistpower. One thing that Bistpower has and EK doesn't is the fact that Bistpower provides full set of spare O-rings. I'm not really sure if you ever need them, but in case you decide to disassemble or clean your block sometime down to the road, you have every single O-ring used in this block lying around. So it's a standard packaging, a standard delivery. So if something goes wrong and you by accident damage O-ring or whatever, you just want to replace it, because usually they get squished, so assembling, disassembling potentially can result in a leak. So the new O-ring always good choice. With the K, if you need O-ring, it's like good luck to get one, so you need to try to buy it, or not every store even stocking such things, so it can be a little bit pain down the road, and for that we can give definitely a bonus point to Bistpower. Alrighty, well, that's my observation between installation both. I would say, without even counting in my head, it's definitely look like that EK is a much smarter packaging and much easier card to install. And Bistpower can improve on certain things quite easily, because nothing of what I said is impossible to fix rather easily. In conclusion, I would like to say and remind you that your computer is a reflection of your individuality. It's how the things looks and whatever your preferences are, and that should always govern what the part we're selecting. But if for whatever reason you're in the decision process situation when the both things looks pretty much equal for you and you have split mind what to do, I would say that the EK is so much easier to install that this obviously will be your #1 choice if everything else doesn't matter. Well guys, I hope this video was helpful. I will continue to installing second card, and will show you result as I rebuild my test bench to the version #3. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.